Imagine you build a time machine. It's not fancy. It's made of scrap metal and old car parts. But it works. You set the dial to the year 1800. You want to meet a legend. You step inside. The world spins. Lights flash. You arrive in Vienna. The year is 1800. You find a small, dusty room. Inside, a young man with wild, untamed hair is staring at a piano. He's frustrated. He's struggling. He can't find the right notes. He's blocked. You introduce yourself. He's skeptical. But then, you pull out a stack of papers. It's his Fifth Symphony. Every note. Every chord. He looks at it. His eyes go wide. He asks, "What is this?" You say, "Copy this. It's a masterpiece." He takes it. He studies it. He copies it perfectly. Note by note. He publishes it. The world goes wild. You return to the present. You grab your history book. You flip to the chapter on Beethoven. It's still there. The Fifth Symphony. Exactly as you remember. And then the question hits you like a brick. Who actually wrote the music? You didn't write it. He didn't write it. So where did it come from? This is not just a fun science fiction story. This mind bender has a specific name. It's called the Bootstrap Paradox, or the Ontological Paradox. Bootstrap comes from the old saying, to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, meaning to do something impossible, to create something from nothing. In this paradox, an object, or information, is sent back in time. It becomes the very thing that inspired its own creation. The information has no true origin point. It doesn't start. It doesn't end. It just exists, stuck in a loop without a beginning, a cause without a first cause. Let's make it simpler with a watch. You're walking down the street. You find a beautiful pocket watch on the ground. It's shiny. It's gold. It works perfectly. You put it in your pocket. You think nothing of it. Then you build a time machine. You travel back 50 years to the exact same street. You take the watch out of your pocket. You drop it right there, on the ground. Then you return to your present. Now, here's the loop. Younger you finds the watch, keeps it. Younger you grows up, builds a time machine, travels back, and drops it again. The watch has done this hundreds of times. But here is the terrifying question. Who built the watch? It was never manufactured. It was never assembled. No one designed it. No one made the gears. The watch simply exists. It's a ghost, an orphan of time. It's trapped in an eternal loop with no creator. The Bootstrap Paradox isn't just philosophy. Hollywood loves it. Take the Terminator movies. A soldier named Kyle Reese is sent back. He goes back to protect Sarah Connor. But here is the twist. He ends up falling in love with her. He becomes the father of the man who will eventually send him back. So who created the soldier? Who gave him his orders? He exists because he was sent. He was sent because he exists. Now think about Shakespeare. What if a time traveler gave him all of his plays? Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet. If he copied them from the future, who is the real author? Some argue that the paradox appears in Doctor Who as well. The Doctor often gives people ideas that they will eventually give back to him. Even Bill and Ted used it. They steal a key from their future selves. Then they go back and place the key so their past selves can steal it. It's a paradox of information. It belongs to no one. Is this just a funny idea? Or do physicists take it seriously? They do. It ties into the Novikov Self-Consistency Principle. This principle says time travel cannot change the past. The universe will automatically prevent any paradox. If you go back to kill your grandfather, you will always fail. You'll slip on a banana peel. You'll miss the shot. The timeline protects itself. It forces consistency. So in the Bootstrap Paradox, the universe accepts the loop. It says, no paradox here. The loop is the reality. But there is a second option, a terrifying one, the multiverse theory. This theory says, you can change the past. You just create a new timeline. You give Beethoven the music in timeline A, but in timeline B, Beethoven never writes it. The symphony is lost forever. You return to your original timeline. Nothing changes. So the Bootstrap Paradox becomes irrelevant. You didn't create a loop. You created a branch, but here is the nightmare. Which theory is correct? If the Novikov principle is correct, the loop exists. That means information can exist without a creator. The music, the watch, the soldier, they are all self-created. This challenges the very foundation of reality. We believe everything has a beginning, a cause. But the Bootstrap Paradox says, cause can come from effect. Effect can come before the cause. So let's go back to Beethoven. If you gave him his own symphony, you didn't write it. He didn't write it. The music created itself, through the loop. It has no author. It is the author of itself. And here is the deepest question of all. If you built that time machine, would you have the courage to test it? Because if you do, and you find yourself holding Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, then you'll have to face the truth that information can come from nothing, and that maybe, just maybe, Time isn't a line, it's a circle, and we are all just passengers on this endless loop. That is the Bootstrap Paradox now. Who really wrote Beethoven's Fifth?